So today the illustrated music is going to be about automatic music, 1997, 18 movements for 6 percussionists. Since I'm the editor, publisher of my music, I could publish things however I want, and I decided to put it into this box, which has about 500 pages of all the material for the 6 percussionists and the scores and everything here. I was surprised when I was preparing this. I went through the archives from 1997. I worked, I think, over a year on this piece. I was surprised to find how much material there was. 2 whole notebooks just full of automatics sequences that I was devising and looking at, and lots of pages of computer output and pencil sketches and everything else. And all of this research reminded me of a conversation that I had already when I was 20, 21 years old, senior year at Yale. I lived down the hall from another guy who wasn't a musician, but he was interested in music. And he was always asking me about the little pieces I was trying to compose, about what my teacher that year, Elliot Carter, was saying, about the serial music we were supposed to be studying and everything. But one day, he said, "You know, Tom, you have a fine mind, but it's a theoretical mind. You should be doing music theory, not trying to be a composer." I said, "Well, you're right. I love music theory. I love research. But I want to hear this stuff, not just talk about it." And this anecdote comes back to mind because I think that sort of symbolizes the direction I and my music have taken in the 50 years since that moment. And I hope that you can see in the 4 movements that we're going to talk about today how it's research and it's music theory, but it's also music, and it's something we can hear. My first meeting with Jean-Paul Allouche was about Automata. We had lunch together, and that one lunch, he really got me started on automatic sequences. And the idea was pretty simple. They're really morphisms, if you want to be technical. I decided to work just with 1, 2, 3. 1 meant doom, 2 meant talk, and 3 meant silence. There are a lot of percussion instruments like bongos and tabla and agogo that just have 2 notes. And that's a very interesting way to write percussion music. So I could write something like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 2. And that would mean doom talk, talk. Or 1, 3, 2, 3, 1. That meant doom, talk, doom. So forth. Fortunately, about this time, I happened to have a friend, Peter Adriaans, in The Hague, who was an artistic director for Schlagwerk in Haag, which is probably, year after year, the best percussion group in Europe. And he agreed to present these pieces with his ensemble. And he made a wonderful recording. We're going to hear excerpts of their recording today. We're going to hear 4 different movements called Symmetry, Canon, Oneline, and loops. 4 very different loops. Among the 18 movements that complete this, which I don't have drawings for. Maybe some other music theorists will talk about the other 14 movements at some point, but we're going to hear these 4. So let's go to the drawing, and I'll explain how the automat works. As you see at the bottom, the rule is simple. 1 transforms to 1, 2, 1. 2 transforms to 2, 2. And you begin with 1. So at the bottom of the drawing you have 1, which transforms to 1, 2, 1. Now the 1 transforms to 1, 2, 1, the 2 transforms to 2, 2, and the 1 transforms to 1, 2, 1. So now we have doom, tap, doom, tap, tap, doom, tap, doom. There's no 3s in this system, just dooms and talks. Now all of that goes to begin the next transformation. There's a talk, 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 talk in the middle, and then the previous transformation is repeated again. Everything is symmetrical. from left to right. The first player began, the second player played the tock-tock, the third player enters with the tock-tock-tock-tock. And then we get the fourth player gets to come in with his 8 tocks, and then the fifth player, and finally the sixth player with, who had to wait a long time until finally he could come in and play his 32 tocks. Something amusing about that. I don't know, the mathematics is not trying to amuse us, but you have to wait so long to hear this. Finally, this new sound comes in with 32 tocks. Well, if that amuses you, that's fine too. But it's not the mathematics that's doing it. This is the part of the, this is why I wanted to hear these things, because when it becomes music and you have human reactions, it's a little bit different than just the dry numbers. This sixth player, that's not only he had to wait a long time to play, but he can't play again because the form is symmetrical too. So after he's finished, we go back to the previous line with the 16 tocks in the middle, and then back to the beginning, finally back to the beginning. Let's listen to this and try to follow the mathematical logic, but if it amuses you, that's fine too. This is the drawing for another movement, Canon, which begins with the 1 in the center, which transforms according to the rules that you can read at the bottom to 1, 1, 2. That makes a triangle around the 1. And now the first one transforms to 1, 1, 2. The second one transforms to another 1, 1, 2. The 2 transforms to 3, 2, according to the rules. Now the third player is playing the 1. The second player has advanced to the 1, 1, 2. And it's the first player who's advanced to 1-1-2, 1-1-2, 3-2. So you see, it really is a canon. Everybody's going to follow the progression from the 1 note to the 3 notes, to the 8 notes, to however many are the next level, the next level, the next level. But they're going to all play in unison because there's a delay. When the third player enters with 1, the second player is playing 1-1-2, and the third player is doing his thing, 1-1-2, 1-1-2, 3-2. They're all playing in unison every time they play. When all 6 players have started, you get one person who plays only 1 note, one person plays 3 notes, the next person plays 8 notes, and so forth. And only the first player, which I think is an agogo, it's a metallic instrument, is playing the complete cycle. The interesting thing here is if you look at the bottom of the drawing, you can see that there are not very many 3s until you start to get outside of away from the center, and then you get a group of, at the bottom, 2, 3, 3, 3, 2, and the next line is 2, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 2, and at the last level is 2, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 2. A long pause. It's kind of frustrating waiting for that last note to come, and we get impatient. But of course, it's not the intention of the mathematics to make us impatient or frustrated. It's just that's the way it goes, and those are the human reactions we have. So again, try to follow the mathematical logic, but if you find you're impatient waiting for the ending, that's part of the music. This movement is called one line because it's an automat that became one single line. I decided later on who would play what. There's the automat. Begin 2, 3, 1, and tak doom. Now the tak, the 2 becomes 3, 1, and the 3 becomes 1, and the 1 becomes 2. So now we have doom doom tak. And the next transformation is doom tak tak doom, so forth. I decided that each player was going to have his own motif. So the tak doom at the beginning is going to be for player 6. Doom doom tak is player 1. Doom tak tak doom is player 4, and so forth. And every player has his own motif. But when we got to transformation 7, you'll see it's marked tutti. And I really liked this rhythm. Tak doom 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 tak doom doom tak doom tak tak doom. Something very nice about that. Very jovial, happy music. And I've been thinking about it. I think the reason that I like it is because it's in 4/4 time, kind of jazzy. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, tak doom 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 tak doom doom tak doom tak tak doom. And I'm not the only one that likes that. I notice when the percussionists play this piece, they're all very happy to have their individual motifs that nobody else can play. But they're particularly happy when they see the tutti coming back. They can all come together and play tak doom 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 tak doom doom tak doom tak tak doom. Now I want to show you the big drawing, the real drawing of how this evolves. Here you see how the 2, 3, 1 developed the 3, 1, 1, 2. But the 2, 3, 1, you'll notice there's a connection. It comes back in the third transformation. The 3, 1, 1, 2 comes back in the fourth transformation, and so forth. Now when we finally get this seventh transformation, that's the rhythm that I like, that I decided everybody has to play together, and I put in a box. And the box is going to come back 2 transformations later, and 2 more transformations later. But there's another time it's coming back there, in a curious way. So now we're going to hear Schlagwerk Den Haag play one line and try to follow how the rhythms are coming back, and especially how the tutti rhythm comes back. You don't quite know when it's going to come back, but you know it's going to come back. And in fact, sometimes you hear it twice in a row. So now we're going to hear this. Try to follow the logic of the way things are coming back every 2 transformations, and listen especially for the happy music which comes. Remember that it's not the numbers that are trying to make you happy. That's just what happened when a composer started listening to this and choosing the instruments and trying to be sensitive musically to what's going on. So if you like the happy moments too, that's fine. That's all part of what's going on. Let's listen. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. So now we're looking at a page of output that I found in the 1997 sketches. The formula, the rules are written above. 1 goes to 2, 2 transforms to 3 to 1, 3 transforms to 1. We begin with 2. So you see, we have 2, that became 3, 2, 1, and that became 3 became 1, 2 became 3, 2, 1, and 1 became 2. Now there's an additional rule that says 1, 2 gets dropped out. So now the 1, 2 at the end got dropped out, and 1 became 2, 3 became 1, and 2 became 3, 2, 1. The 1, 2 was dropped out. Things go on, and curiously, this is called loops because things gradually start to form loops. You see the first example that is in, let's see. If you look down at level 7, for example, you see clearly 2, 1, 2, 2, 1, 3. That's the red loop. And then if you go down to level 10, you see it again, 2, 1, 2, 2, 1, 3. 2, 1, 2, 2, 1, 3. A little later, it comes back, 2, 1, 2, 2, 1, 3. 2, 1, 2, 2, 1, 3. 2, 1, 2, 2, 1, 3. But then there's also a brown loop that starts to repeat. Tak-doom, 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 tak-doom. And then there's the pencil loop that just says tak-doom-doom, tak-doom-doom, tak-doom-doom. And each of these loops gets to be more and more loops. And they last longer and longer. It's very strange for an automaton to do this. But that's what happened. So this is the drawing of the complete sequence of loops, automatic music. It begins in the middle. You can see the brown ink there because this is not loops yet. But the loops are soon to come. You see that brown ink becomes black ink with tak-doom, 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 tak-doom. And that leads to the loop on the top, tak-doom-doom, 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 which leads to the loop at the lower right, tak-doom, tak-tak-doom, tak-doom, tak-tak-doom, tak-doom, and that repeats for a while. And then we go back to the first loop, tak-doom, 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 tak-doom. And this continues, but look, there's some other brown ink going scattered in between. That's like logical accidents, I guess, automatic accidents. They, because it looks to me like the automat really wants to just be doing repeated loops, but there are little accidents in the logic that make things that don't fall into the loops. That's very hard to understand. Even Jean-Paul Allouche didn't understand that very well, but we'll hear his opinion in a minute after this is over. Let's listen to the loops. I want to try to summarize a little bit what these four movements were doing. The first one was completely symmetrical and predictable. Canon was a little bit less symmetrical and predictable. Oneline was more or less had a logic that you could follow, but you never knew quite when that duty was going to come back. And the loops was completely crazy. No reason why a simple automat should fall into 3 loops like that. And I decided to ask Jean-Paul Allouche, can you explain why there's so much difference and why some automata, some morphisms, will produce more predictable and less predictable sequences? And he explained, there are several theories that mathematicians have had, theorems that explain degrees of predictability and order, and they're very useful theories. But very often, what they predict is not at all what humans perceive as predictability. You see, there are a lot of things that mathematics cannot explain, fortunately.